Welcome back to Miss Parker to You, the space where we talk about real life, real womanhood, and the parts of our stories everybody seems to tiptoe around. So let's get straight into it. So we're talking about in-laws today. Holidays are beautiful, they're magical, they're nostalgic, and for a lot of women though, they're test because the holidays don't just bring decor, traditions, and cozy memories, they bring people. People we love, that we tolerate, people that we pray up before they actually pull up. And yes, they bring in laws, the good ones, the bad ones. And why the hell would you say and do that in my house type of in laws? So, this episode is for the woman who loves her family, but also loves her peace. This woman creates atmosphere and somehow ends up carrying everything no one else even notices. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So, the invisible weight women carry during the holidays. Every year, women enter the holiday season and immediately slip into a role. It's crazy. It literally needs to be studied. The emotional atmosphere, they're the glue, the thermostat, the conflict diffuser, the hostess, the referee, the emotional sponge. Even if nobody says it out loud, everyone quietly expects her to monitor the tension, protect the kids from the sharp energy. So we're always closing doors, checking in, and running behind, making sure the kids' doors is closed so they don't hear all the weird stuff going on, protecting the marriage from criticism, protect yourself from the disrespect. You got to ensure everyone feels included. You got to keep the vibe soft, festive, and warm. And the part almost nobody acknowledges, women do all of this while still trying to cook, clean, decorate, host, prepare, smile, and stay gracious. It's invisible labor, it's emotional labor, it's literally spiritual labor. It's the work that shapes the entire holiday experience. It almost always falls on the woman in the room. The dynamic no one wants to say out loud. And here's where it all gets real. Sometimes the tensions with in laws isn't actually about them, it's about the energy they awaken in your household. So let me talk through some truths women whisper privately, but won't dare say at the holiday table. Your husband changes around his family. We all been there. We've all seen it. You can't tell me that it ain't happened with you because most likely it has. Not because he's a fake person, not because he's trying to irritate you, but because childhood conditioning is so damn powerful. Old habits resurface, roles shift all of a sudden. Authority is like rearranging itself at the dinner table. The man who leads a home suddenly becomes someone's little boy again, and you feel the shift instantly. Okay. Childhood habits return like muscle memory. Dishes magically disappear. Responsibilities evaporate. He's suddenly more relaxed, less attentive, less helpful because this is how he used to be and the family system accommodates it. But in your home, that system does not work. The mother and son dynamic resurfaces. And let's be honest, some mothers have never fully released emotional ownership over their sons. Like we've all seen the clips on Facebook and Instagrams of mother-in-laws ruining baby showers, ruining weddings, like literally being like a little living hell monster, right? And it's because it's my son, just like all the other women that be like, my man, my man. Okay, well, you got moms that are like, my sons, my sons. I'm raising two boys, and I will never be like that. I got my own identity outside of my kids, as should most, if not everybody, should have an identity and a life outside their kids. But there are mothers who just cannot get past that, them being their little boys. And sometimes it's borderline like weird. It's like you almost want to date your kid, but that's a whole nother podcast right there. But They still want influence. They still assume their preference matters more than yours, and they still see themselves as the woman who knows best. Well, before he proposed, while you were walking down the aisle, after you gave birth to your first child, up into this very moment, she still feels she knows best in that man's life, which in her head is that little boy's life, my baby's life, okay? And when you, the actual wife, don't shrink, it triggers something. It brings out all types of little demons, all types of hell. Not because you're wrong, you're not wrong, but because your authority conflicts with their identity story. I'm telling you, oh my God, like we can go so deep. I done seen all types of crazy shit. Okay. They're not used to boundaries. People raised in environments without rules view boundaries as disrespect. Okay. Like they get offended when you tell them no. They get offended when you say, let me think about it. They view your home as like an option. It's optional. Your systems are negotiable. Your space is flexible when in reality it's like no, it's not. Don't take that shit to their house cuz you're not going to get away with nothing that they're trying to pull in your house. I'm just telling you right now. So when you say, no, that doesn't work for us, we don't do that here, please ask before handling that. Actually, we're not changing our schedule. They literally choke on their spit trying to say something back. But your home is not a democracy, okay? It's a domain. Your domain. You own it. That's your shit, okay? So you feel pressure to shrink your voice, leadership, presence, plans, standards, and joy just so someone else doesn't feel overwhelmed. But here's the really deep truth: women do not shrink naturally, they shrink to survive. They do. You see a lot of this in like abusive households, okay? Like, because in my opinion, when your in-laws are coming over, especially like mother-in-laws, when they're coming over and say you're the wife, right? You're the wife, your mother-in-law's coming over. Abuse is when she can't follow your rules. Abuse is when she decides she doesn't care what you have to say. She literally hears you talking and she would just act as if you did not say nothing and address her son as if you're not there. Will talk about you as if you're not sitting right next to her because she disregards you, and she disregarded you when you was getting married, and she disregarded you when you was giving birth to her first grandkid. Okay, you're a non-factor. You're literally just that lady, and everything that came after that, like your the babies and her son, like that's who she cares about. She don't care about you. If anything, you're always going to be flawed in certain situations, in certain households. It gets it gets really crazy. It gets really crazy, okay? And 2025 is not the year of shrinking. Not in your house, not in your body, not in your motherhood, and damn sure not in your marriage, okay? Holidays become a spiritual battlefield for a lot of people. Like there are some women right now, it is the night before Thanksgiving and they're going through every damn emotion you could possibly think of. Like she's probably, some of these women are losing their shit right now because their house isn't the way they're supposed to be, because they got people coming over. They already know their mother-in-law, their father-in-law, the cousins, the sisters, the nosy aunts, and all of the people, the judgmental folks at least, are coming to her house to rip her apart emotionally, and mentally, and they're losing it right now. It's a battlefield. It's literally spiritual at this point, okay? And it's not because of chaos, but because you are fighting for a piece of nobody else is trained to protect. Nobody's trained to protect your peace. Most people are not trained to protect a woman's peace. I'm sorry. You are regulating emotions, you are anticipating conflict, you are assessing tone, you are quietly correcting disrespect before it escalates. You're keeping the house from slipping into old patterns. And the world has trained women to tolerate discomfort to keep the peace. We're not doing that. So here's like the truth. If peace requires you to abandon yourself, it's not peace, it's performance. We're not performing this season. I don't know. People need to stop watching so many damn movies, okay? This is real life, okay? So let's get into this part: how to hold your home without losing yourself. Okay, let's talk strategy, like real woman strategy. Because keeping control of your home is not about being mean or controlling or unwelcoming, like people would like to throw those labels on you. It's about being the atmosphere manager. Okay, here's how you hold the room without losing your identity. First things first, you set the tone before people walk through the door, not the rules, with presence, your voice, your energy, your home, your expectations. When you're grounded, everything else aligns around you. Women truly underestimate how powerful their presence is. They really do. We always do that to ourselves. We always seem to underestimate our essence when we are the what I would consider the very life source, okay, of human mankind. This is what you got to do. Build quiet boundaries, not loud confrontations. It's real simple. Hold on. It. It's real simple. So, for example, instead of, please don't talk to my child that way, try, oh, actually, we handled things a little differently in this house. I've got it. Instead of, don't touch that, try, thank you, I'll take care of it. Instead of, no, that's not happening, you can say, we actually planned something different for this year. These are boundaries dipped in honey. Firm, kind, immovable. So like that mother-in-law that's always trying to get you and your husband and your family to do it their way and go their way and all this stuff. Well, listen, it's called being nasty nice. You can be super nasty nice. You can get your point across. You can be sweet. You can do all these things. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to shift body language. You don't have to do any of that actually. You just change up the way you say it. Pick different words. Same meaning, just dipped in honey, okay? Protect your marriage first. Nothing creates holiday chaos like blaming each other, performing for the family, ignoring tensions, allowing disrespect towards your spouse, not presenting a united front. Your marriage is the leadership team. Everything else is literally a guest pass. Like y'all need to start having main character energy, okay? Like seriously, N- know who you are in your own home. Okay, so this is really hard for the women who are actually in abusive households and they got to do all of this crap for the holidays. They got to do all this crap for the holidays with an abusive spouse. So like most of these tactics, this ain't gonna work for the woman who's in abusive household. This is for women who are in what I would consider predominantly normal dynamic households. Okay, normal. Okay. This is the part that nobody teaches women. You lead the home daily. Okay. That does not stop because an elder enters the room. You don't step down, you don't shrink, you don't have to apologize. In 2025, being a soft feminine woman does not mean being a silent, agreeable woman, a doormat. Okay. Feminine leadership is strength disguised as grace. Okay. So you need to prepare your spirit, not just your house. Light the candle, clean the space, say a prayer. Literally, I would probably start rubbing like anointing oil on certain surfaces. Set set an intention and then you need to ask God for patience, discernment, wisdom timing, softness where needed, strength where it is required. Because holidays are spiritual work. Not every household is crazy. Not every in law is ridiculous. Not like, you know what I'm saying? But there are a lot of people who dread the holidays because first off, there are some families, they don't even see each other, they don't call each other, they don't even send a damn text all year long, but they'll show up at your door to eat. Okay? And not only to eat, but to share personal opinions, bring up old things about you that you literally have been trying your best to get rid of. Like all types of stuff. It's crazy, okay? You need to leave room for imperfection. You're not running a Hallmark set, okay? Like I had to do this myself because there have been years where I was like I always like let me have my Hallmark holiday. And it sounds good and all. And even if you have the budget for everything you could ever dream of, stop trying to run it like a movie cuz there's scripts to that, okay? This is real life. You're running a home. You're running a household, okay? So the people around you that are not in your head, that are not in your fairy tale, are not perfect. People would get on your nerves. Someone will say something stupid. Kids will be loud. The dishes will pile up. Don't act like the dishes don't pile up. You don't, just because you're cooking, yes, you could cook and clean as you go, but also preparing dinner for a large family or for just guests period is tiresome. Okay? So, give yourself some grace with the dishes and the cleanliness of the kitchen. Okay? Someone will comment on your weight, your parenting, what y'all had for dinner, or what y'all gonna have for dinners on your business. Girl, they'll say whatever and anything and whatever. Smile because you know who the hell you are, okay? Not because you need their approval, but because they can't shake your foundation. You don't let nobody shake your foundation. I don't care who it is. Mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, aunt, uncle, they listen, they're only over here for a couple of hours. A couple of hours. Do not let it disturb your peace. Because when you close your eyes at night, you're going to bed peaceful. Okay? You're not going like so tomorrow when y'all wake up and you're preparing for your family to come over, take a deep breath. Take a deep, deep, deep breath. Say a prayer and understand that this is your home. And if anybody tries to bring up anything that you know is disrespectful, hurtful, judgmental, condescending, all of the negative, really, you have permission. I'm giving you the permission to politely dismiss their ass. Okay? Because the holidays is about celebrating um your family, yourself, your year and everything. It's about peace, it's about love, it's about coming together. And if they think bringing up something you did 15 years ago or want to make a comment about your marriage or your rearing of your children, your household and all that, they can politely get their butts up from the table. Matter of fact, they probably wouldn't even make it to the table in my house and go have dinner somewhere else because we're not inviting negative energy. So if you already know who's coming to your house and you already know the energy is going to be negative, you go ahead and let them know that if there's any negative energy, anybody who's trying to bring up things from the past, anybody who has anything condescending to say about anybody who's coming to this house, please do not show up tomorrow because you will be politely dismissed. Okay, your home, your spirit, your rules. You deserve a peaceful home, a respectful home, a joyful holiday, a husband that has your back, kids who feel safe and covered, a space that honors you, who you are. You are not here to absorb dysfunction. You are not here to shrink for someone else's comfort. You are not here to manage grown ass adults who refuse to evolve. This holiday, you are choosing yourself. You are choosing peace. You are choosing boundaries. You are choosing your voice, your leadership, your joy, your marriage, your home. Everybody else has to adjust or they just not coming. They're just not coming. So, in closing, you guys, like I said, this doesn't apply to every household, okay? It does not. It applies to the people who have lived this time and time again. There's people who've been going through this for decades. Okay, decades. This is for those women. And I'm telling you right now, you ain't got to do it. Let somebody else do it. Okay? Don't let your in-laws, if you got horrible in-laws, don't let them come to your house and disturb you and what you have going on and what you built and what you worked hard for. It's not worth it, because guess what? When it's all over, it's going to be you and your family with all of the bad energy that these folks and left. Okay. Okay. But, anyways, you guys have a beautiful Thanksgiving. Keep what I said in your back pocket, and I'll see you on the next one.